What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Musings podcast studio. I am joined today, once again, well, you guys might not know that, my good longtime friend, Miss Sia Ohm. How you doing today,
Hey, what's
Sia?
up? They say second time's a charm.
Yes, yes. Hopefully, a third time is not required. If it's a third time, it needs to be a returning follow up from this
Yeah, and
episode.
not because my internet really crapped out on you. I'm sorry.
It could have been a combination of both. I was having issues on my end from time to time too, even though I have like a wired connection and
Mhm.
everything. Sometimes this technology can get really finicky.
Yeah, I know. So I don't feel like a complete like noob,
No,
even
you're
though,
good. Well, I was thinking we've known each other like well over 20 years now,
yeah.
easily.
I
Because
think 20, is it 24? Over
I think
24.
yeah, it's
Yeah, We're
gotta
hit
be.
we're hitting 25, I think.
We're giving away our age a little
Uh,
bit.
Call it 25 years ago.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, it's crazy to think it was that long ago. So we met, through our mutual love of comics and art and everything, and you were taking classes there, and I remember that you actually taught a drawing class there at one point, which I was bummed I wasn't able to
Taught.
take it.
I
Yeah, yeah.
taught a drawing class.
You're using air quotes there, but I mean it was legit.
Was it
People
legit?
got
Because
I
I
think it
feel
was
I
legit.
because I was, it's like I wasn't like a professional comic book artist yet, so I was just trying to get good at it. So when you're teaching people stuff and you're still trying to learn the process,
Yeah.
you kind of feel like an imposter in a way, and you just there wasn't like a robust internet YouTube where I could go search for how to do something so that I could go BS my way through it in class and teach all these high school kids how to draw a manga.
Yeah. How did that opportunity come about?
I think it was for one of the, digital design assignments. It was a final or something maybe where we had to do, it was like the video class. I think we had to do a tutorial of some sort.
Yeah.
And of course I'm gonna go to do the most obvious thing to myself, which was draw on a whiteboard. And I guess Brian Martin remembered that and he's like, who'd be really good for this?
Yes. Yeah, it's so crazy to think like it was cool because where we went to college, like they kind of pioneered that design program. Like
Yeah,
this
he
is
did.
back when, you know, web design and graphic design and all that was really becoming more prominent and becoming an essential field for people to get into. So, um, the college that Cia and I went to, they offered what was called the digital designs program, so you could get an associate's degree in digital design, and essentially it was like a sampler platter. They didn't really like get you into one. They didn't give you enough to
Mhm.
do any specific job really, but they kind of. What I liked about it is it gave you an idea to find direction of the
Mhm.
areas you did like,
And
right?
I actually like that a lot. You're right, because if you think about being at a 4-year college, um, once you pick that path, you're kind of stuck in a way because you're paying for it. And whether
Yeah.
or not you do anything with that at the end of the day is hard. But I think that the 2-year program was perfect because it was a smorgasbord of it was video editing, it was Photoshop and design class, and yeah, like Illustrator. So all these specific programs, and this was kind of early on with the software too. Remember
Yes,
3D
very
Studio
early.
Max, and what was the other one? It was 3D Studio Max, and what was the other program that
Is
was
it
really
Maya or
no? I wish it was Maya.
light? No, not
It
Maya.
was Lightwave.
Lightwave.
That program was such a pain in the
You
butt,
remember
but
the Lightwave book? It was like this thick.
I know. I'm like, and then we're supposed to do an assignment from it. I'm like, my eyes glazed over. I'm like, Chris, to buy and help.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
remember sitting there and guys, this is back in the days before, you can get Blender on your home computer now and
yeah,
do 10 million times what we could do, and you can
yeah.
like watch a real-time preview of what you're creating like you
I
in
know.
real
And you could
time.
paint on your 3D models too. And
Yeah.
it's like a ZBrush, but you can make it less poly so it's not so heavy and make it even bigger and heavier. And I was messing around with Blender and I have it on my desktop still. I'm like, I got to go back and finish that Gundam unicorn that I was
Yeah.
sculpting, and trying to
Blender is
animate.
so
But
fun.
I
Yeah,
know.
and this program, Lightwave, literally you do your project and then
Oh my
you would
God.
leave it overnight to render, and you would come
It might
back
crash.
and it might crash. And on these, the top of the line PCs that the college had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on to be able to run half of this software, and you'd come back and sometimes it would just be completely crashed, or it rendered wrong and parts were everywhere, and they're like,
Yeah, because
project's
you
due
forgot
tomorrow,
to
what am I supposed to do?
exactly, especially because if you forget to pull a poly and like you're in a rush to render it and then you render it, you turn it around and there's like this
Yeah, yeah,
your square is not a square, it's actually like a city block.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to admit something publicly here. I think that was one of the only classes where I cheated a little
I
bit,
think we all did.
because I literally had one of my renders fail, and it was like right before the deadline. So somebody like copied their file, let me use it. I manipulated it, changed it a tiny bit, and we were good to go. But I
I'm
didn't want to
laughing
get a
so
bad
hard
grade,
because that's what I did. I did that too.
See? We're both admitting this is like therapy.
And we still talk to our instructor slash friend, so I mean he's probably like, yeah, well you made out okay after college, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we didn't interestingly, we didn't end up in any of those fields, but I feel we have like a multitude of skill sets that we can utilize. So I think that was the really cool thing about it, because I can get into Blender and mess around, and I understand the
Mhm.
language. I understand what things are. I can mess around with 3D modeling just because of the basic knowledge I got
Mhm.
there. Or back in the day with web stuff, I could
Yeah,
make
and
a
Adobe
website.
Premiere, right?
Yeah,
And InDesign. So
Premiere.
those things, even though it was kind of vague, you just kind of understood the concept behind all those things. And so when you jump into a new program, you have the same basic understanding of it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think maybe in fact, if someone ever wanted advice for art school, I would even advise like just go to your local college with the 2-year degree and just kind of dabble into some of this stuff because all you really need is to be focused and concentrated on like the beginner stuff, So
Yeah.
that's because I think okay, so it's video, it's web, and then it's like all in design and even accounting, I guess. And
Yeah.
and it was remember art history class and
Yep.
all those things. Those are so helpful for like all the just like you're well rounded as an artist, I think, or creative person. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. Um, so going into the college, did you, I think I know the answer, but I ask for the benefit of the audience, that did you know that comic art was the direction you were wanting to head in?
Heck yeah.
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 Now, the college we went to, though, they didn't really have like any art classes that were well suited for that. Like, not many places did back then. I mean,
Hmm. Except for
Kubert
Kubrick,
School,
was it? Yeah.
Kubert School was like the only one. And I remember yearning to be able to afford the correspondence course and not being able to.
How much? I mean, I don't want to ask how much it was because
Oh, it was a lot.
it was a
It was
lot.
it was like, yeah, it was like, I want to say, if it wasn't this much, it probably felt like that much to me, but I wanted to say it was like one course was like at least $1,000 or
And
or
it
something.
was this live or was it like via DVD or
Oh no,
something?
this was strictly books. So you would get
Mm,
the workbook,
I see.
and,
Okay.
and you would get the workbook and the VHS tape. You would
That's
get this is
funny.
before DVD. You get the workbook and the VHS tape of the course, and then you would do the assignments, and they gave you a prepaid envelope to mail them back,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then the instructors would do the critique,
Oh,
on a
that's
layout.
right. I remember seeing
Yeah,
that
they would do a
somewhere.
draw over on a a tracing sheet or whatever with the corrections and their notes, and then you get it back, and that's how you did the course. So yeah, but I never could afford it. I was like, oh man.
Wasn't there, it was cool, and this is what I thought was really cool about my dad. I don't know if you remember that commercial on TV where it was like this, it's like a small, wide little, like newsprint kind of like booklet that my
Mm-hmm.
dad saw online. And what you do is they drew part of the animal or whatever, right? He's supposed to teach
Oh
you how to
yeah.
draw stuff, and then it would help you extend the drawing. And my dad, for some reason, thought that it was so. going to help me, even though, I mean, I didn't know that he cared. That when I got it in the mail, I was like shocked because, you know, when you see something on TV and it shows up at your doorstep as a
Yeah.
kid, you're like, wow. And my dad actually thought that it was good for me to just keep drawing, which, you know, he's very traditional. Like, you don't think that he thinks outside of whatever he's doing, like, you got to go and make that money, you know, blue collar. But
Yes.
then he just kept motivating me. And he probably didn't realize the monster he created when he would see books on the TV and or, you know, like he likes to order things off the TV apparently.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, these books, it comes with like a starter, like encyclopedia, children's books and stuff. And it showed up and I thought maybe it was a sample thing, but my dad actually paid money for it. But he never came up and said, hey, I bought this for you. And he didn't want to thank you. He was just like, here. I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. That
Same
was
with,
his way of supporting.
that's so adorable. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he created a monster.
He did create a monster. For sure he did. I mean, speaking of monster, he has 70, I think in the podcast from yesterday, my dad has like 75% of my comics right now
Oh,
because I
that's
didn't
amazing.
offload him. It's not like he's like, oh, I love my daughter. I'm just going to hold
Yeah,
on. He's
yeah.
like, I don't know what she's got going on here. I don't know what's in here. Then sometimes he'll call me and go, hey, could I get rid of this box right here? And I'm like, what's in it? He's like, I don't know. I'm
I
like,
don't know.
probably not.
Bunch
Don't
of
throw it away.
books.
It's gonna be like #1 Marvel covers that I did that are like 1 in 50 or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Which
do that, Dad. Please
he's got
save
my
that.
Spider-Gwen, I'm pretty sure still.
Oh man.
I know it's
Well, it's
Spider-Woman.
nice. It's nice that you're letting him. Or it's nice that he's storing that stuff for you, though, even though he might not know what he's got there.
I don't know if it's just it'd be so much work for him to try to like figure, you know, move it around because there's so much. You know how it is. Look at your bookshelf.
Yes.
It's mine is just what you have there plus all the other old artwork I did from
Yeah.
back in the day, which you have one piece of. Uh,
I
and
do.
that's super exciting. That's why I was excited to talk to you because it's like,
I
dude,
might show that on the stream
I'm not
because
gonna, I won't hate you if you did because sometimes I'm like cringe.
I had a feeling that it was related to the project we're going to talk about today because I know that's been in the works for
20 years, dude,
pretty
since I've known
much
you basically.
most of the time we've known each other. So we'll get to that in good time. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your start in what got you on the artistic journey. So I know for some people, like a lot of the artists I talked to, it was like stuff they saw in cartoons or just that they were creative and they just always remember drawing in one form or the other. So for you, how did you get that start and what's your earliest memory of when your passion for art really began?
You know, it's funny because like I always go back to this one thing that my dad did in Thailand. He was a teacher and he drew this flower on the chalkboard and I was, you know, I was probably like 4 years old. And to see that for some reason, I'm like, it looks like magic. And then
Yes.
of course I did that. I mean, that's the only memory I have of it, of that being that early. And then when I came to the States, I think it was watching bits and pieces of She-Ra, a little bits
Nice.
and pieces of Supergirl, like the older movie with I forgot her first name. It's like something Slater,
Right.
right?
I know who you're talking. Yeah.
And I was like, you just constantly drawing, you know. And it wasn't until I was in like fourth grade or something, my dad took us to get comic books because my younger brother wanted comics, and it was somewhere near, you know, where the bowling alley is and Lucky's Pizza or something like that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Tacoma.
Yep.
And after that, like I was hooked basically because I got the Swamp Thing, and then my brother got Wolverine, the Crunch Conundrum. I think
Oh,
Sylvester is drawing
nice.
that one with the Mojo, Mojo. I want to say Mojo Jojo, but oops. So
Yeah.
Mojo and Spiral. So that's what I remembered. And then remembered seeing flipping through, and you know they have the ads for the Jim Lee T-shirts with Psylocke,
Oh, yeah.
and it was from X-Men 1, and I was like, okay, this I want to do this. Like that looks so
Nice.
amazing. The way that he did the composition and her physique was so powerful. It was a powerful pose. I don't know if he realizes when he did that, like how big of a deal that was going to be.
Right.
And yeah, ever since then, I just basically copied all the stuff that was in the X-Men 1 in terms of like trying to make it look like Jim Lee's art. And so that was my earliest like attempt. And then I would start drawing like the Street Fighter characters that would be in the EGM magazines with all the, so I would just take other art and just try to do it with like colored pencil, stuff like that.
So like many of us, you kind of learn through copying at
Repetition, yeah,
first.
copy. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to, I think.
I think so,
Mm.
yeah. No, it's funny you say that about seeing the drawing that your dad did, because for me, that's my earliest memory
Oh,
was my mom doing little drawings for me, and
oh,
thinking it was like magic that she could do that, and then like I want to be able to do that too. That's so
oh.
cool. So yeah, that's a very unique memory to have. So that's cool. Cool shared memory there with it with our parents and having.
I
So
wonder if that's how it starts.
I don't know. I don't know because my mom's always been very creative, but she's
Mm.
like a crafter, seamstress type of person. She has a lot of different varied artistic talents, and I
Hmm.
remember she would draw like maybe my little stuffed teddy bear or something, draw a picture of him doing something or
Oh,
whatever it
that's
may
so
be,
cool.
and I would just think it was like, how can she do that? That's so
Oh, so it
amazing,
was,
you know?
so you knew it was your bear, so that's probably why it felt like magic. Because if she drew some random thing, it
Yeah,
probably wouldn't feel the same way as she took whatever I see here and she transfuse it into this like piece of
yeah,
paper
and
and
just
stuff.
being able to do it out of her imagination and just I just wanted to figure out how that was done and be able to do it myself. So it's a very special memory, and I found some of my old drawings probably from back then
You
when
still
I
have
was
them?
trying to draw. Yeah, like I was trying to draw the teddy bear and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's gotta
yeah,
be so cool.
yeah. My parents saved all my old
Oh,
crappy
not my parents.
drawings.
Not my parents. If I didn't save him, they wouldn't have saved him.
And they saved all my art assignments from the college and stuff too, from the art classes.
Oh,
So
I remember those. I wonder where
I have a
mine
ton
are.
of portfolios with all that stuff. I'll probably end up getting rid of, but it's like it's kind of cool to have
Oh no,
and to
I
look
think
back
so.
on.
It's memories, right? But my
Yeah,
poor dad has to hold on to all my memories for me. Because we never, well, obviously we don't live in the cabin anymore and we're renting it out, so there's literally no way for me to take all my stuff out of his house into this apartment right now. It's so much smaller.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do better in terms of getting a bigger space to take all my own stuff back so my dad could free up room for an actual bed.
There you go. Yeah, that would be good. So it started with the copying and drawing inspiration from, like you said, the cartoons, and then also seeing Jim Lee and all this iconic stuff that people that came up in that generation of comics, like especially people that are drawn to art. We
Mm.
always talk about Jim Lee and seeing that first X-Men stuff and just being blown away. Um, from there, what type of direction did you take as far as like, okay, I'm gonna really buckle down and work on my skills here? Did you start getting more direction in where you wanted to take it as far as did you seek out art classes? Did
Mm.
you look for more resources? Because that's still in the very early stage of like internet and stuff. We didn't have
Yeah, we
like,
didn't have those.
I mean, there was forums and things,
Yeah, it
some of
wasn't
the
a whole
old,
lot though. Like
but nothing like a resource where you could
mm,
look and see like process. Now you could go on YouTube and spend 20 years and never run out of process videos, like
agreed.
actually being able to see how your
Hmm.
favorite artist does what they do.
Right?
We didn't have that back then.
No, we
So
didn't.
for you, how did you kind of put the pieces together and start to take your skills to the next level? What was your process with that?
Well, I think, because I never stopped buying comic books throughout middle school and high school, it was always easy for me to like, because the more I copied, let's just say, the more I'd want to do my own poses. And then, so there was like that, like you get like that adrenaline rush from like, finally it looks the way in my head it kind of wanted it to. So I thought.
Right.
So I kept going with that. And then, of course, all the art classes that were available in school, every time there was an art class available, I would always sign up for those. And then I was like I vaguely remembered being like I was like the head of the art club after school. So I don't know if I was much of a leader, but I was like, well, at least I get to do this and I could stay after school and draw some more.
Yeah.
And we always had like the group of kids in class that was actually good at drawing. And so we
Right.
always kind of like bounced off each other and there was that competitiveness already at that. So you basically understand the environment and remember those wizard magazines that would have all
I
the cool
still
behind
have
the
them.
scenes stuff. And I would read them over and over and look at the pictures and I'd be like, oh, that's kind of like me in high school with all my friends or, whatever. And we would always talk about like comics, games, and animation and stuff. So there was always that outlet, you know, and I never stopped. No one never told me to stop. So that I just kept going. And yeah, and then when there's conventions in Seattle, and I heard that editors actually read or look at portfolios, I actually prepped mine for David Wool when he was at Top Cow at the time, and he was the first editor to look at my stuff. I was nerve-wracking, but it was the most amazing experience of my life. In fact, I texted David last night, and I was like, "Thank you so much for helping me out.
Oh,
It means so much to me." And
that's so cool.
yeah, he's him and Vince, like they really took me in, you know.
Yes, definitely. You can take a moment.
Yeah, I was like, I think I swallowed wrong.
Yeah,
You know, it
it
just feels funny
happens.
to.
I'll edit it. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. I can
I
make
don't
that
want
big.
you choking.
Yeah,
I don't want that caught
especially after
live.
talking about David Wool and I cough. You know.
Yeah, she got choked up, David. Maybe I'll leave this in. Now she's gonna blow her coffee out her nose. We can make a blooper reel.
That almost happened when you said that. I'm like, here it comes.
Yeah, Top Cow, man. That's they had so many
Superstars.
superstars, and we can't talk about Top Cow without talking about Michael Turner. And I know you never got to. I remember talking before. I don't believe you ever got to meet Michael.
I met him, but I didn't work with him. I met him
You
one
didn't
time
work with him
as a fan.
You got to meet him, but you didn't get to work with him. But his work, like especially back in the beginning stages, early in your career with your style, you could see how much
100%.
influence
Okay,
Michael
maybe
Turner had on
98%,
you.
not 100, because I was trying a little bit of Benitez, and I was still kind of hungover from the Jim Lee, and so there was like that
Yeah.
thing that was happening. He was kind of funky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Benitez also like crazy work.
He
And
is still
you've gotten
insane
to
to me.
dabble in all those realms.
Yeah, I was like,
So,
bucket list, childhood
so
dreams
let's
happening.
okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk a little bit about your early work, your early stuff with Top Cow that you got to do, because you've done like you did some Fathom stuff, right? And then I know for Joe you've done like Lady Mechanika and stuff like that. So what's some of your earliest? Let's just talk about your earliest work in general as far as published work.
I just remember this yesterday. I did like a short, I think it was either 5 or 8 pages of a Zenoscope Grim Fairy Tales
Yeah, pretty sure
story.
I own it. Pretty
Oh,
sure I
is
own
it
it.
Little Boy Blue or something, right?
It's
Wasn't it?
something, yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that. I can't believe I remembered that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I think he was like, oh yeah, it's way different than the Rockefellers, Francis and Pete Tomasi
yeah.
story. I'm like, yeah, I know you're right. It is way different.
Way different.
But that was
Yeah,
like that was my first published gig was with is it Christina Beranek, I think.
right.
Wrote the first story. And then after that I started doing like pinup artwork of like Aspen for the Aspen swimsuit.
Yep.
Fathom swimsuit, or yeah, Aspen. And so I did a couple of pinups, and then I did a few of those every now and then. And then I got I got to work on, remember the Heroes TV show? They had
Yep.
like a web series for that, or like a tie-in. And I would do those like once a week, which I was horrible at. Like I was great at first, and all of a sudden there would be one week where I was trying to do all these different, I, got contacted by a publisher to do something else. I was
Yeah.
doing so many different things, I just fell flat on my face.
You got a
And that
little
was my
spread
that was my
thin.
first like biting off more you could chew. And I think
Okay.
I completely forgot I did colors for wasn't it like a Justice League? And
Yep.
it was with he passed away a while ago. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but he was the one I colored for. I was just the assistant colorist, whatever. And so we jumped in, and so I was doing that at first. And I remember that was the early day of my career. So I'd go online. I'd be like, oh, so excited! This is one of my first gigs. And then people are like, oh, well, it's a fill-in artist, and I'm like, oh, okay, well. And they would critique my coloring and stuff. I'm like, oh, that sucks, but oh, it was cool. I still got to do it.
Still cool, yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was my first foray into criticism online and
Yeah,
critique
fun,
online, and
huh?
then learning to take it with a grain of salt at that point. So
Well, hopefully you learned that early on because it's a
It's
lot more
intense.
intense now. Intense is probably a mild way of putting it.
Understatement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an understatement of this century. So, Top Cow, we've got the early work, and then talk about your first like extended run or mini series that you got to do with Top Cow.
So it was actually
Because you did a few issues, like
it was
concurrent
Fathom.
issues. It was Fathom, right?
Yeah, it was Fathom with Ron Mars, and that was I think it was eight. It was either 6 or 8 issues of when I was when I was actually the main artist, and that was dream come true, obviously, and I was like I was all over that. So that was the first and only one. And like right now, I think I'm at a point where I would love to, because every time I go to convention, I would always talk to Mark, and I'd be like, yeah, it'd be cool to do something with Top Cow, finally, that I would want to do like Witchblade or something. But at this point, I'm really glad that my friend Giuseppe Gaffaro is doing Witchblade, and that he's like the best. You think I'm a fan?
It's
Giuseppe's got Michael Turner's either signature or Soulfire tattooed on himself. I think
wow.
he's gonna take the cake for that one. So right
Yeah.
now, the person drawing Witchblade is probably the best person to draw Witchblade, in my
Yeah, and
opinion. So
his work is phenomenal.
it's amazing. He's grown so much as it is. So it's like it's really cool to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe someday I'll do Witchblade like I wanted.
I like how she just says Mark. She's talking about Mark freaking
Silvestri.
Silvestri.
Mark with a C.
The
He's
giant, the
literally a
tall,
giant
tall.
compared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
you
like
guys are
six
tall.
eight. He's like 6'8". I'm like 6'5".
I've
I think
only
he's
ever spoken to him when he's sitting down.
yeah, he's
So
friggin' tall, dude.
I'm
He's
glad he
like
didn't
six
stand up.
eight.
He's like, I see him. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's funny when you don't realize some of the because on video you can't really tell like a
Hmm.
lot of times on webcam and stuff like or when people are sitting down.
Yeah,
You know,
I look taller than you, which is ironic.
it's always funny when I'm sitting down because I have a very short torso. I'm like all legs. So when I'm sitting down, like Amy is taller than me sitting down.
I
And then
know.
I'll stand up and people are like, "Oh crap."
He was like, yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah,
No,
we got some tall boys in the comic world, man. You got like Ryan Stegman's like 6'8".
how tall is Todd? Todd's pretty tall,
Todd
right? McFarlane.
he's probably about I think he's like 6'1", 6 foot,
Oh,
6'1",
geez,
somewhere in
for
there.
me,
Tall to you.
yeah, anybody above 5'5", I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
giant.
And then Vken's another tall boy.
I forget, and so is Peter Steigerwald. See, most of
Yep.
the time, because we're artists, when I see somebody, they're probably sitting down.
Yep.
Yep. So it's like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, they're my height,
Yeah.
and people are shocked at how short I am. I'm a shorty. So
You know, Peter, he was close with Michael
oh yeah, yeah.
and they were very close and has to be pretty cool. I'm sure you've gotten to talk to him about Michael and just the legacy that he's left behind. Like it's crazy when like I see like repurposed art and like sketches and like stuff I haven't seen coming out
Oh, I
because
know. He's
he
got
did
so
so
much
much
stuff.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we're still getting to enjoy a lot of his work. I just got that Marvel
Oh
book
yeah.
that they did,
That's amazing, right?
just pouring over it, you know?
So amazing. He drew some of the best looking my Batman and Spider-Man,
Yes.
in my opinion. And so
Wolverine too. He did a
oh
really
yeah,
cool
that one was
Wolverine.
that was awesome. I forget because he's got so many awesome pieces.
Yeah.
But and then Peter, yeah, it's fun to talk to about Mike with Peter. But then we end up in a crying fest every time we're at like the panel, the Aspen panel,
Yeah,
and
I
we're
can
honoring
imagine.
Mike. There was one time we were talking. I don't think we could have held back crying. I think
Yeah.
Frank's voice started shaking, and it was rough. I mean, that was
Yeah.
rough, and we were all there just mourning. And this was like maybe 10 years later when we were
Yeah.
doing this. It was crazy, right?
Yeah,
10 or
there's
yeah.
definitely a hole a void that was left in the comic industry, especially with the people whose lives that
He
he touched
affected.
in one form or another, whether directly or just through being inspired by his work.
Oh, I
Like
know.
I'm still inspired by his work to this day. I know you are. He's just truly one of those people that was just taken from us too soon. And Also, from by all accounts, just an amazing human being. It's
I
like a
think
really good
if
person.
I'm being honest, I think a lot of the girls had a crush on Mike. When
Oh,
we
I'm
saw him in
sure
the
he
Wizard
was a
magazine,
handsome dude.
I'm like that drawing is so pretty, and then I see who's drawing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you
Yeah, yeah,
serious?
yeah,
Like
totally.
that was like my high school crush. So
Plus, yeah, and plus, like he was
that was
super
breaking news, by the
nice.
way. So
Yeah, breaking news. Yeah, and he was super nice
yes,
too. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
by all accounts, like I've
Hmm.
never heard a negative Michael Turner interaction story.
No,
So
he really cared. So yeah.
now, as far as other influences on your work, who else was up there? We know Jim Lee, we
Joe
know Michael
Benitez, Michael,
Benitez.
and of course David Finch was for a bit, but his style was the cross hatching looked so insane. I'm like, I can never do that. But I did draw a few things that I felt like was David
Yeah.
Finch's
And
esque.
then he just said, "Hold my beer," and just did it on a whole other level with Skinbreaker. Like
I know.
if we thought the rendering was scary to try to emulate before,
I know.
now you look at that and
I
you're
don't
just
even
like,
bother now. I'm just
come
like,
on,
nah,
dude.
I'm pretty, yeah, exactly. I think I was fangirling a couple of days ago. I guess he liked one of my drawings on my Instagram. I'm like, oh my
Amazing.
God, it's a David Finch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I still get that way. You have to, right? Like if you're gonna do this day in and day out, you have to find people that you admire. And obviously the most recent one right now would be like Matteo Scalera, Sean Murphy,
Yeah.
and Eric Canetti. So a lot of the people I'm friends with, their styles are a lot very distinctive. And I think I'm branching towards more of the distinctive styles right now because I'm trying to build my own. So I'm trying to be like,
Right.
you know, in my own lane in a way where I'm trying to draw less and less influence because I feel like at some point I do want to brand my own art in a way that it's very recognizable, consistency and stuff. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, Eric's a great person to talk about, talk to about that because he was pushing the boundaries way back. I just
Aeon
had him
Flux, right?
on. I just had him on a few episodes ago,
He's amazing.
and we were talking about that and like how he didn't want to conform. And he's like, I was too arrogant. Like I didn't want to
He's
draw
still
like
the same.
everybody else. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm just joking. No, it's
No,
his.
no, he kind of is. I
I
mean,
love
it's
it.
in a healthy way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like ego is the impression you have of yourself. So like he knows what he can do.
Yeah,
Um,
which is
yeah, it's
everything.
funny. He was one of the only people I've gotten like a negative comment on the YouTube video. Is like somebody's like, he's too arrogant, or so,
No,
or he thinks
I
he's too.
love.
Here you go. He thinks he's too cool,
He's
and I
sarcastic though all the
yeah,
time. I
and
love.
I commented. I said, to be fair, he kind of is really cool. And they go, oh well, he's too arrogant. I'm like,
No,
oh
no, no.
okay,
It's funny because I love when I watch the Ink Pulp podcast.
it's
I love his
amazing.
sense of humor. I love it so much. I love him and Sean and how they bounce off, and then
Yeah.
Matteo would just come in and just completely torch him.
Yes.
And that personality, which I wonder if all three of them are going to be there tomorrow because I'm filming with them tomorrow, and I don't know
Oh,
if Matteo is
amazing.
going to be there. I know for sure Sean and Eric will be there, and I just love hearing the banter back and forth. I'm like,
Me
I'm just here
too.
for the entertainment, dude.
I'm trying to
So,
collect all the ink pulp guys.
guys,
I've got Sean's coming on
nice.
in December, and then I'm reaching out to Matteo and hopefully get him on here because I absolutely love those guys. And it's like you said, it's the interaction,
Yes.
and you can
You
tell
need all
how
three of them. You can't have one without the other
yeah.
because yeah, it's perfect.
And Jim LaFood's good. He's on there a lot of times too. He's going to be coming on here soon.
Oh, nice, nice.
And yeah, just the dynamic of how they play off of each other, and they're all such very close friends. Like
Yeah, and
Mateo,
talented.
Eric had a lot of very touching things to say about Mateo, so that
Oh,
was cool. Like
ironic. It's
he's like,
hilarious.
oh, for all the crap I give him, he's like he's such a good person. Da, da, da,
Well, they're
whereas
all
like
like that. The only one
he's
that's
like his
probably not like
closest.
that exactly is Sean.
Said it's like the closest to a brother he has, and all of that. So that was cool.
Yeah, I remembered when Francis was on Manipul on the podcast, and then Matteo said something, and I guess they cut it into a short reel clip, and it was so hilarious. I'm like, oh my God, you're such a good sport, Eric.
Yeah, yeah, he
I think it was
really
about the
is.
hair or something.
Yeah. He's got such a quick wit too.
I
He can
love
just
him.
roll with it.
He's so good. No, he's really good. He's been mentoring me through this whole Kickstarter process. So he's like,
Yeah.
however obnoxious you think you are, Sia, just push it 20 notches up. I'm like,
Take it up a few notches.
oh my God, I don't know, brother. I don't know if I could do that. So
Well, I want to talk about the Kickstarter, but before that, I want to
Yeah.
talk into your venture into
Mm,
creator owned, because you had Lola
hmm.
with Image, you know,
Oh, you mean
your own,
Aspen?
or sorry, with Aspen,
Hmm.
yeah. Um, you had that
Hmm.
prior to this Kickstarter, so you've been in the realm of creator owned now for quite some time. Like you
Hmm.
still do various covers and things like that, and I know you were part of the Mechanika Kickstarter and stuff recently. You did like a piece in there or a story in there,
Hmm.
um, but creator owned. Like I know a lot of the artists I have on all have a story
Hmm.
they're either dying to tell, or they've been dying to tell for a very long time. So take me back to the inspiration behind Lola,
Oh, wow.
and then we will go into the new Kickstarter, which is
Ah,
the
okay.
one that has been brewing for over 20 years now
Which
at
you're
least.
very well aware of. And
Yes.
so Lola was like, it was around the time we were living in Hawaii, and we were obsessed with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and we were playing that a lot. And the thing that happens with John and I is because we have this brain that won't slow down. Once we start to
Mm-hmm.
talk about something, we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wouldn't that be cool if we did this? Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if there was like a bear that's, and we're like, okay, it just ballooned into like this full-fledged idea. And we even built like an iPhone game that was going to be a lot like where you're trading in the wasteland, and then you lose. It's like a really simple game, but you get to trade. It's like I think it was called Monsoon or something like that. It was like that
Nice.
old opium trading game. So we came up
Right.
with this like wasteland trading game, and I drew this character as Lola at her earliest phase, and she had the scarf and everything. And I'm like, man, what would be cool if I could draw this into a comic book.
Huh.
And of course, I slowly start rolling it out. I'm like, I love Marilyn Monroe. I love that bombshell blonde look. What if you
Yeah.
stuck her in the wasteland, because she'd be the last person you'd want to see on in the wasteland? And then
Exactly.
I built a story around it, because it's like, is it realistic though for her to walk around that way and not have any kind of way of getting these skills? And so I added like her posse, basically, her the guys that raised her, and so they're close, but they're all very different people. And I feel like that was the best way to get the story going. No matter how I changed the story, if I had those characters intact, I felt like I'd have an adventure, and so you could kind of go in almost any direction at that point. So
Yeah.
that was in 2012, 2013, where I started to brew that idea, and I started drawing pages. And good on Vince. I don't know how and what he saw, but I was like, hey, Vince, I got this idea. I have a script and I have some pages. Would you like to see it? And he's like, sure, let's do it. Let's try it. Okay. So I start putting it together, and he's like, hey, we have a release date. You want to do it? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, let's go. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was coloring with markers, and which is fine, but then you get lightheaded because it's a lot of fumes. And
Yes.
I wasn't well versed enough, and I didn't like how the watercolor would warp the paper. So
You're
I was still
using
experimenting with the style.
were you working with Copics then, or what were you? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for the most
that's what
part.
I
And then
thought.
I slowly started to only use Copics sparingly for like
Alcohol
skin.
based,
Yes,
breathing the
exactly.
alcohol fumes.
I know. I was just like, this is not a good idea. I feel like I'm in the wasteland. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why the book kind of evolved, and I'm a lot more comfortable with ink now and watercolor. But at the time when I was working on it, the Eon boards could only absorb so much of my BS that I was trying to put on this page,
Yeah,
and then I went from that to like watercolor paper to hold the ink more. So you could see the style change a little bit in my evolution as an artist. Just full stop. The first volume, like in second volume, that's basically what happened. No
yeah,
surprise there.
yeah, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of people may not realize. Like, of course, hardcore fans realize, but you like pencil, ink, and color a lot of your own work. Majority of the time, especially like on Lola and everything. Um, are you going to continue that on the
Hmm.
new project? You're doing the
Hmm.
same thing,
Yeah.
making more work for yourself is what you're telling me.
But what I've learned how to do though is the shortcuts on the coloring is going to be done in Clip Studio.
Okay.
So since what I did before was I was a colorist, remember I did the DC thing, and then I was
Yeah.
part colorist on some stuff for Aspen. So I was a colorist before I became a penciler, slash writer. But so I was already kind of used to coloring on the computer, and we learned it, in digital design. So I was
Yes,
always
we
the Photoshop
did.
kid.
Shout out again to the
Shout out
digital
to digital
design.
design. Brian Martin, what's up? And
Yeah.
Benedetti and
Ken
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yep.
Yep.
See, those are our guys. Mr.
Yes.
Radis.
Mr. Radis. Mr. Radis. I don't know if he's still around, so I don't want to say bad things. Like,
Yeah, I know. He was the guy,
Mr.
right?
Radis, you took my GPA down because of the dang painting class.
Oh, were you in his painting class? I was in his
Yeah.
drawing class. So
I went through all the levels of his drawing class,
I didn't have to.
and the better I got, the more he kept turning the screws on me and getting more harsh. And I remember like perfect grades through the first couple levels of drawing, and then it started to dip down into the B's,
Oh,
B plus, and then painting class. Like his approach to painting, like I'm very process oriented,
hmm.
so I'm like, I want to know, like, put this color down. He's like, no, you just paint, just
What?
do it.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't know
he's like,
that.
just do it.
What was
Like,
the other
just
teacher's name?
paint the apple. Like, and then I was getting like horrible grades, and I like requested like a meeting with him. Like, hey, dude, like, I don't understand. Like, I need to know like steps, and he just like, no, you just do it. Like, don't. He didn't give me like any direction.
So
So
he was
that,
trying to be more experimental with the painting class
yeah,
then?
yeah, and it took my GPA. I had a
He's like,
perfect
he's like,
GPA, and it
James, take your process and just throw it away. And you're like, no, I
exactly.
can't.
I
This is
don't
not
do.
me.
My brain does not work that
He's
way. I
like,
need
what?
process.
I know. He doesn't get it. No, I never took his painting class. I only took his drawing class, which,
So your
because
GPA probably stayed perfect.
except for, guess where I got my bad grade? I was like a
Uh,
D plus. I was like, it was fair. It was fair to give me a D plus, to be honest with you. It was the technical writing class.
oh
That
yeah,
one was a freaking hard class because I'm like, oh yeah, you think you understand process, like what
yeah,
you say, until
yes.
until you try to write instructions for stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I shouldn't be teaching.
Mine was that another one that I struggled a little bit with was one of the design, like graphic design
Oh, that
or
was hard. It was a Ken Murphy's class
no, it wasn't. What was it? It was the other guy.
or
He would
InDesign. Is it
it was
Quark and
some
stuff?
kind of no, we were doing like painted stuff, and like he would have us do like geometric
I
patterns
think I
and
know who you're talking about. I forgot his
different
name though.
gradients and stuff, and
John would remember his name.
yeah, it was weird though because like the projects I would put my heart into and work really hard on, he like gave me a horrible grade, and the ones I like phoned in, he's like, this is brilliant. I'm like, bro, I literally did that in like 10 minutes.
See, that's why they think fine art is pretentious, is because of things like that,
Yeah,
right? Like,
because I couldn't figure out what he was looking for. Like when I
I know,
actually
yeah.
tried to follow what they were saying to do, horrible grades. And then I like phone it in. And, oh, this is the best
Yeah.
thing ever. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not an artist. I don't get,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, so there's the whole concept of fine art and how it's a scam, I guess, in some ways. Sometimes it's, whatever. We could go on a rabbit hole of
Yeah.
fine art some
Yeah.
other time, but yeah.
We'll say it's very vague and subjective at times
And
with the,
pretentious. So if we want to
and
go
can
there,
be very
pretentious, yeah.
pretentious. Yeah.
So,
So back to Lola. So on Lola, you're experimenting a lot with your approach to coloring, and this has kind of influenced how you're gonna approach your coloring on the new project. And you
hmm.
mentioned Clip Studio.
Hmm.
Now, Clip Studio, for the listeners or viewers who may not know, is kind of basically think like Photoshop, but completely dedicated to comics and creating comics.
Hmm.
Like everything you can imagine for,
And then some. Hmm.
and then some for
Animation too.
tools to create comics, to do animation, to letter, to color, ink,
It's perfect. Yeah.
everything. So now I am very intimidated by the coloring features
Hmm.
in Clip Studio because it's so in depth. And when you've colored in Photoshop before and in some other programs, like it's similar, but it's very different because it can do so much more. So
Hmm.
you must have been experimenting with what it can do for quite some time now to be confident enough
You
to
know,
start utilizing it.
huh.
Or have you ever looked, has it just come easy to you?
I'm trying to figure out like because I don't remember posting really anything Clip Studio related, but guess what happened was like a year ago they contacted me to do a sponsorship video on YouTube. So they were like, "Oh, we could give you the software." I'm like, "Oh no, I already own it." So
Yeah.
so they did the sponsorship. So while I was doing it, I was asking them questions to make sure I knew what I was talking about. And they said, "Oh yeah, the feature's here." I'm like, "That feature's there?" They had
Yeah, it's
all, it's
so many.
such a deep thing. And I didn't know it could do that because I'm like, at Photoshop, I think the one thing I wanted really bad was it was something that Photoshop does that it doesn't seem like it's obvious in Clip Studio,
Right.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can do that. It's just a different thing." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But their lasso tools, amazing. Their
Yes.
fill lasso tools, the reason why I'm like, this is my program, and their perspective grids, which I don't use yet, but if I needed to, it's there. And
It's all there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all there. It's so robust, and yeah, and I started. I mean, the last 5 pages that I colored was the most I've ever used the program at one whole time. And so now I'm like, yeah, this program, I cannot not use it. So
And if you have the iPad, the full version of Clip Studio,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly the same as the
Thanks for reminding
desktop
me.
version.
I'm gonna download my copy of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I mean,
awesome.
it's literally exactly the same.
Sweet.
Like
I didn't
it's
know
the
that.
yeah, it's seamless. So you literally like
Is this
go
new?
in
I
there,
mean,
work on. It's been around a few years
I
now.
guess they didn't tell me about it because I wasn't doing it on the
Yeah.
iPad. Oh,
Yeah, so you
okay.
can get it. It is a separate.
It's
Well,
licensed.
you're sponsored, so you'll be good. But it's like a separate license or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's literally the same program, and all the features, everything
That's
is the
sweet.
same, and it runs great.
Nice.
Like
Okay.
so,
Perfect. Now I could color
not
on my iPad because when I went camping a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, I can't do the digital stuff because I won't be
yeah.
home. But
See,
now I wish I would have known.
sorry. Now I'm making more work for you.
No, you're not. You're actually making it me like excited, like, because I'm all about trying to find ways of making things quicker.
Well, and I know you're like creating on the go. Like
Mm.
if you travel or something, you still have to be
Work.
productive
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and work. So the iPad is really
Perfect.
revolutionized that
Exactly.
for artists. I know a lot of artists too.
Procreate. Yeah.
They're doing their whole workflow in Procreate on the iPad, which
Yeah.
to me, like some of it is intuitive and some of it isn't. Like especially with coloring, like it's weird. You can't do like a gradient like you would in Photoshop where you drag and do your gradient. Like
Yeah.
there's no like easy way to
Oh,
do a
yeah. It's like a
gradient
bar,
and
isn't it?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a bar
You
and
have
you
to
got to do
adjust
all
it.
this weird stuff and but yeah, there's stuff I like about Procreate but Clip Studio as far as like if I was
Robust.
going to
Hmm.
tell somebody
Printed
comic
work.
specific, it's
Printed work, especially. Yep.
yeah, and you might get overwhelmed, but there
At
are a
first, yeah.
lot of
Yeah,
tutorials
a
and
lot of good
things
ones. So I thought, I'm like, I just need to find out what this one tool does. So I go and search for it. I'm like, how come nobody has a video about this one tool that
because
I
they
know
don't
is
know about it yet.
it's like,
It's for you to ask and then give the information.
I know, should I be making like reels like, hey, I found this button that does, or this tool that does this thing, voila,
I'm always so excited when I find a video like that that somebody's done, and
I
I'm like,
know.
oh, I knew it
I
could do
needed
that, but I
that.
couldn't figure it out.
Or even
Yeah,
when you're doing video and audio, right? You just need to figure out one adapter for whatever piece you're going. I'm
yeah,
like, please tell me someone's adapted this. This has to work. Because what I was doing is trying to shoot with two cameras and then have my Cintiq also be a screen on
yeah,
OBS. And so I'm like, come on, somebody please just give me a simple two cameras, one screen share. And I
yeah,
was trying to get all complicated. I was going to buy another like capture card, and I find out, oh, you could just do it automatically. I'm like, thank you.
yep,
Thank
yep.
you. Yes. So,
Yeah, I just figured out how to get my iPad into OBS. And so
oh,
I could do like live, I
nice.
could use that for the drawing and show the iPad
And it's
screen on a
cool because you're
live.
like moving around and it's just wireless and it's just like, wow, it's like magic.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Um, all right. The suspense is killing me. We have to talk about the newest creator-owned project, your Kickstarter. It's in currently in the pre-launch phase, so people can go on and choose to get notified once it launches and everything. So make sure you guys do that. But it's Neo Wonderland, correct?
Hmm.
This is the new one,
New old one
new old one. Over two decades in
in the kennel.
percolating.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell everybody what you are willing to share about this project.
So I started this project after when you and I were going to school at Pierce College, and first it was going to be like a kind of like a futuristic racing comic book kind of. It was going to be geared kind of around that whole thing, and I went from that to like I wanted to have like a man-made island, and throw all the really cool things into it. Like, and there was like technocrats, the people
Yeah.
who ran the island. They're basically businessmen who came together and built their own basically country off of a scrap of an island where it used to be like a landfill for the world, where like they would dump all their ships and their cars and just all sorts of stuff. And so they innovated this technology to build this man-made island, and they made it and built it into what it is, sorry. But in the early phases, there's no AI involved in this story at all. And then it was 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, before ChatGPT came about. I was like, it'd be kind of interesting because I feel like we're going in that direction where
Yeah.
there's this constitution for the world basically that's run by an AI that is like in place of what people would actually be, and it does more than just runs the political side of things. It runs like food and shelter and air and all that stuff. So all this stuff, it runs it through this process. And so the rest of the world is run on this, but there's like a few rogue nations, countries basically that it's not part of this constitution. And so Neo Wonderland takes place in Shangri-La, and there's the main cities a lot like Tokyo, and there's the outskirts of Shangri-La where it's a lot like the towns and places in like South Korea and Japan. So I kind of modeled after that, and I took from like Norway and some of those things that I thought would be really cool. Where if you left the city, the underbelly, it doesn't really touch it because there's no reason for it to. And so that's the premise for the story. And so I have two brothers. The main character, he's a convict. He was in prison for 10 years. I won't say why yet because that's part of the main story.
Yeah.
And he was released from prison after 10 years, and his younger brother basically left the village that they used to live in. His mom is single. She's by herself. And so Saint, right after prison, is like, okay, well, I got to go, see how my brother's doing. And his mom was like, he's such a sweet kid. He's a tax collector in town. He's, working in Shangri-La. And as soon as you hear the word tax collector and Shangri-La in my world, it's not a good combination because there's so much mob activity in the city itself. It's kind of like lawless in a way, even though there was rules and everything, but nobody really follows them. And then, so he goes into Shangri-La to go find his brother tax collecting. And he's like, Mom thinks you're a tax collector. Is this really what you do? And he finds out slowly that his brother is not only not a tax collector, but he owes debt to like every mafia clan that you could think of, basically. And he's in all this trouble. And his mom thinks that her son's doing fine because he'll send money home. And she's like, oh, he's successful. And so our main character, Saint, basically tries to work his brother out of the debt, and then the more he tries to do that, the more he gets caught up in his mess. And then they both basically end up, well, Saint especially ends up becoming an assassin. He lost
Okay.
and he can't go back to prison. So he's like,
he's got nothing to lose at this point.
He's like, I'm trying to stay out of prison. But at this point, like there's no way. And so like it's the relationship with the two brothers and the surrounding environment's kind of like how I built my story around it. So if I change a few things here and there, the story I feel like is still going to end up in the same place because I built up how I want the relationship to grow or to be disintegrated at some point in the story. We'll see where that goes, but that's kind of how I have it placed right now, so that I have like at least 3 volumes to build off of, because I built this world for 20 years, as you know.
Oh yeah,
and it changed, and so this is the latest iteration of it. But the whole story, they were always after I think Pierce, they became assassins. Maybe a couple years after that, I'm like, oh, they got to be assassins, right?
Yeah.
More interesting. And then the car element's still in there, but now I've added hoverboards and flying cars.
Nice.
And we're gonna mod up like the hoverboards and the cars, and because it's a scrap island, people would go and look for old cars. Just imagine like a Skyline or an RX-7 just flying without using those names, and they have to mod it and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be careful.
Trust me, when I was going to Pierce, I actually contacted these car companies and asked them if I could use the likeness of their cars, and they're like, no, but thank you for asking. And I'm like, they said no, but that was kind of cool. I got a response from the main office, so it was kind of cool. And I joked with my live stream, my guys, I was like, hey, it'd be funny is if the main character got drunk and he's coming out of this bar and is in the sky. So it's 300 feet at least up in the sky. He tries to step onto his hoverboard and he pukes onto the people below. And it's, because people were flying around in these hoverboards. You don't know what they're doing. So there's all these silly things that we came up with. And I thought like, yeah, this is fun. That's why I do my live stream, because they'll give me all these silly ideas.
That's awesome.
I hold on to them. I'm like, that's a great idea. Thanks for giving that to me, you guys.
Yeah, thanks. I may or may not use that.
No, but I'll tell them straight up if I'm like, I love that idea. We're gonna use
Yeah.
it. One of them even I recommended. They're like, it would be cool if we could have like an ash can for the comic. I'm like, perfect. We're gonna
Ash
do an ash
cans
can.
are, yeah,
Amazing.
ash cans are coming back.
I realize that
I've
now.
noticed. Yeah,
They're
it's really
fun.
cool.
They're so much fun. And so I was like, okay, I'll give away the ash cans for free the first 24 hours or something. I want to do something kind of cool, kind of old school, 1990s approach to, I guess, releasing a book and that kind of excitement everybody has for the little cute ash cans with the
Yeah.
hollow foil on the front and stuff. It's cheaper to print that way too.
Be really cool. Yeah.
So,
I've recently found some of the old, the first Wildcats ash cans, the little hot pink ones.
ooh, I
Yeah,
gotta
there's
look
like
that
a
up.
hot pink one and
That's so
like a
cool.
green one. They were like limited, like to, I think they're like limited to like 1,000 of them.
Dang.
And I found some at a local shop, so
You're
I picked
kidding
them
me.
up.
How much
Yeah,
was it? If
there's
you don't mind me asking, how much was it?
they weren't a lot. Maybe like 15, 20 bucks.
I
They
bet you it's
sell
not
for
like that now.
they sell for way more on
eBay and
eBay
stuff.
and
Mhm.
everything. But yeah, I got a good deal on them, and I was like, oh, and they're like still sealed too. They have like a little
Oh,
sticker like holding them
you're
shut.
kidding me.
Yeah, I opened one of them. I'm like, I gotta look through one of them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm one of those collectors who
I'm
they're
one of
like,
those.
yeah, me too. I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to make this my fingerprints on it and stuff. I'm supposed to grade it, but I want to see the inside so bad. I
Exactly.
don't care. I don't care how much it's worth.
I un-CGC'd a sketchbook at one point. It was a CGC. The only way I could get it was a CGC graded one. It was a Doug Mankey sketchbook that was signed. But I'm like, I want it because I want
I
to
want
be
to
able
look
to look
inside of
through the
it.
sketchbook.
I
Like to
know.
cut it all. Somebody's probably crying somewhere.
Oh, I
No.
know. Someone gifted me like a 10.0 Lola like holofoil cover, and I
Yeah.
guess I've never seen a 10 before, so I completely didn't even look at the 10. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's so cool." And then I think I was chatting with them, and they looked at each other, and they're like, "I don't think she knows." I'm like, "What? What did I miss?" They're like,
It's a
"Sia,
big
look
deal.
closer, look closer." And I
Yeah.
see a 10. I'm like, "Oh, it's a 10." I didn't take it out of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yet.
I know. I'm like, oh, I don't have any more copies of that. I want to see what it looks like. So
Do you have the launch date, the intended launch date?
I
When
do.
can we look forward? Is it public? Can you make it public, or is it
Yeah,
coming
so
soon?
it's coming so soon. I'm almost embarrassed to say
Okay,
when.
okay.
Yeah, because
We won't say.
it's October. It's next week. It's October
Oh my
28th.
goodness!
I know,
Nice,
right? Because I announced it like last Friday.
nice.
Didn't have a lot of runway this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, me and my marketing guy, were like, we got to do it now. I'm like, okay, let's do it
yeah.
now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's not sleep for a week. Let's go. Let's do
Are
this thing.
you? So I'm assuming if it gets funded very quickly, there's going to be some stretch
Oh yeah,
goals and
I
some
got some.
awesome stuff planned.
I'm still obsessed with collectible stuff. So whatever
Yeah.
I want someone else to have, I'm gonna try to put it into my own thing. Like, ooh, holofoil would be really cool. Or for sure, there's gonna be a sketchbook. And I know a lot of people want the black and white edition, so that's
Yeah.
already gonna be in the main thing. That's not a stretch goal, but I do have like a bunch of different things designed. And I was like joking with John and my marketing guy. I was like, hey, you know what? If we get $1 million, let's just give somebody something so kind of sad. You're like, $1 million and this is what we get. Because John was like, yeah, let's make a replica of a hoverboard. I'm like, no, slow down, slow down.
Right,
We're gonna
right.
give everybody a certificate.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it
Get a
was
little
just,
piece of paper.
it was something so stupid. We're like, let's not do it. I know it's a funny joke, but it would just burn every bridge you can imagine. So,
What about something like this? We could
oh
put
yeah,
that
are
as
you gonna donate that piece?
we could donate that.
I know. Oh my God, you got the one with a car. Oh my
I
gosh.
started inking it
That's
at
right.
one
Can
point,
you scan
way
that so
back.
I could have that and
Of
I
course.
could put it in the sketchbook if that's okay. And
I'd be happy to send it to you.
No. Can you scan it for me? I don't need you
Yeah,
to send it to me.
absolutely.
I could put it in the
Absolutely.
sketchbook and then I'll say that you started inking it and the story behind
I
it. So-
did, yeah. I should finish inking it.
yeah, you should scan it that
Yeah,
way
I'll
and then when
scan
you
it.
finish.
I'll scan it first, but
That's
yeah, this is
awesome.
issue 0.
Does it really
page-
say 0?
issue 0,
I was all about the
page
issue zeros.
2, page 2 of issue 0, and it is titled Fearless.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one title I forgot I named it because I was like,
Yep.
yeah, I went from Saint Sinners to Shangri-La to Neo Wonderland. I forgot Fearless was the first one because I had a gentleman do a calligraphy of the word fearless for me. in Chinese, and so I was gonna use that, and I guess I could still use it. Like
Yeah,
a jacket or something he's wearing would be kind of cool.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it would
Yeah,
be like,
see,
yeah, when
more
we get $1 million,
ideas.
we'll get a really nice jacket with like
You'll get a jacket,
a
a
jacket with a
Letterman's jacket.
tiger, yeah, and it's gonna be all like gold and
There you go.
mafioso, yeah.
Hey, don't put that out there because now they're gonna expect it.
Oh, it's like, yeah, it's like $5,000. I was like,
Stay to the piece of paper. It's just a certificate.
you could adopt a Pocky, a fake one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Sia, I've kept you for quite some time, and I know we could go even longer, but I would like to have you back on. I know it'll probably be soon-ish, but once the Kickstarter gets rolling,
And you can see me crying.
and we can
better or
get
worse.
no, it'll be for better. It'll be we hit $1 million.
I know. You guys ready for your certificate?
Yeah. I want to have you back on once it's launched and
for sure.
everything.
And I'll let you know my experience.
And it'll probably be fully funded at that point and everything, because I think it's going to get funded pretty quick. First off, let everybody know where to keep track of you, the best places to follow you on social media. Let them know your YouTube channel. I'm going to link all this stuff up for them. And then obviously what they should search on Kickstarter so they can get that pre-launch notification and all of that.
I'm always yapping on Instagram, and I post my art there all the time. And it's Instagram at, I think it's Sia _ Ohm. And then on YouTube, it's at Sia Ohm. So just Sia Ohm. And that's where you're going to mostly see me. I post on those all the time. And I don't even my official website isn't fully updated, but
Right.
but Neo Wonderland does have an official website. It's neowonderland.com. And when you go there, there's the newsletter and there's also the pre-launch link. So if you guys go there, that's probably the easiest way to get to the pre-launch link, because the pre-launch link is usually like long-tailed URLs. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's some crazy thing that I don't even know. But yeah, that's it.
Very cool. So that's the pertinent places. Everybody make sure you go there. And then remind me again, the launch date, the official launch.
The official launch date is October 28th.
Perfect. So I am going to push this episode up in the queue. I had a different episode I was going to put out on Monday, but I'm going to put this episode out on Monday because Monday's the 27th. And that way we get the episode out the day before and spread the word.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. I mean, it's all in, and in a short amount of time. It's like, my marketing guy, who's my friend, he's one that was like, you got to get it. If you're going to do it, you got to do it like right now, because October.
Yeah.
Because if I wait, I'd have to wait till spring. And I'm like, okay, let's just go. 1 month, let's just push so hard. I had to color and ink and draw like 5 pages in a week, which means I could do it at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's next week. And I was waiting for the pre-launch page. We had all the tiers like basically figured out. That's why I didn't want to like announce it yet until Kickstarter gave me the green light to like give out the link. So yeah.
Are you somebody that likes to be pretty far ahead into it before you put the Kickstarter up?
Yeah, because I understand how this sometimes people don't deliver. Lucky for me, Chris Rups from Rups Comics, Aspen's warehouse, is going to be fulfilling it for me. So I'm not like
Perfect.
I'm not the one going with however many books I have in my apartment. Like, not me. I would be such a mess. So
your dad's not having to have them stacked in his house.
I don't know if he has more room for my new stuff, because
Yeah.
now all of a sudden it's a bunch of comics at once, and it's just like, a tornado. So, yeah.
Awesome.
This is so cool. I'm so glad I got to talk to you. I'm like, I can't wait to tell. I can't believe that we're finally now with the original page you had. This book is going to come out. Like,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah, it is crazy. So it was meant to happen when it
Serendipitous. Yes. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with me today.
Fun. I can't wait to share this link, because of the stuff that we talk about is very exclusive to you and I, because we've known each other for a long time. So some of the stories we have are very personal, and I think it's
absolutely
silly and funny. So
yes. And we'll definitely have you back on once the Kickstarter is out and everybody is excited. Hang out with me for a moment while I talk to everybody. Everybody, make sure you follow all the links that I'm going to leave for you so you can check out all of Sia's awesome work. The podcast now has a Patreon. If you want to give a little extra support to the podcast, you can. You don't need to feel obligated to do that, but I know some people have asked how they can help uh, build the podcast up and spread the word more. So if you go to patreon.com/nerdy musings, you could be one of the first Patreon members. Going to be all sorts of extra goodies. I might even throw the hidden episode of Sia's first unaired appearance. If I can piece it together, that'll probably be a Patreon perk, so you can hear that and go back in the Wayback Machine. If you like the podcast, feel free to subscribe, like, share with a friend. New episodes come out every Monday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.